Morning. It's 1:05 p.m. New York time, and May 25th, 2017. And we're waiting for Kent. So, Stephen, are you interested in working on the compiler, or what are your aims in terms of what you want to learn?
Yeah, just interested in hearing about the compiler. Been playing around with the rosette part of it, trying to get it to run on my machine there as well. So just to see how it all hooks together.
Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, leave a reminder on that. And Kent, welcome. How are you this morning? You're on mute.
Doing well.
Good, good. Great, crazy time. Got so many pots here, starting to drop some balls, whatever. But it's just good to know that Steve is also interested in running Rosette and maybe being part of RosetteNet. Hopefully we won't need much help with that. Myself, I have to learn a little Rosette. I don't know if so. We may have a couple. I have to read the stuff again. It gets a little abstract and complicated. So you're going to go over with us some stuff about the Rolang to Rosette compiler.
Yeah, I will do that. Actually, give me 1 minute. I want to use the restroom.
All right. Hey, Gary. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, everyone. Steve, Kent.
So did you starting to say something, Stephen? You're on mute if you're talking.
Sorry, just keeping on mute because there's a lot of background noise here. No, I was just saying I was having to go. There's a few compiler errors on Rosette, so that's what I was trying to get running for the last few days. So I have an issue raised there. I'm going to have another go at it. I'll have a bit longer to play at it tomorrow. So if I make progress on it, I'll post an update.
Yeah, we should have time when he is finished with the overview to look into that problem with Kent. While we have Kent, which source repository are you using, and what environment are you building in?
I'm building off a copy of one of Greg's older repositories, but it seems to be up to date with the one on RChain. Just building on Ubuntu.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should use Kent's.
I'm back.
Kent's archive in GitHub. Kent was the one who got it running on Ubuntu. The RChain repository only works on Mac. So in the new document, we have the link to Kent's one. I don't know if we can probably put it in the chat for you.
Yeah, no, I have it.
You have it?
Yeah, I have been looking at that one as well. I think there is a few still that we were looking at. There's a bit of a chat on it going on in the Rolang room about we were hitting some segmentation faults today. So hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that soon.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up in all the groups. Got too
I
many.
can
You're,
share my screen a bit. Can you see that?
Yep.
Cool. Let's see, documents. Shows that. Hopefully it's still up. Probably not. So. Stephen, are you running it through Make?
You're on mute, Stephen.
Sorry, I'm keeping on mute here just because of the noise. Were you asking me something?
Yeah, I was wondering if you ran it through Make.
I did, yeah. No, when I ran it through Make, yeah, no, I did. I got the same error as you did. I have managed to get it to run end to end. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of why it sometimes works and sometimes fails.
Oh, interesting. So it sometimes works?
Yeah, no, it definitely works through, as I was saying, when you have Valgrind on, it'll work quite consistently. But I still think it's not 100% there. I think even with that, it's throwing some errors, but not crashing because of them.
Huh. Because for me, if I run it through Make, it works all the time.
Very good, yeah. No, it's just out of interest really to see what is there or not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's when we run it directly, we get errors and it doesn't load all the RBLs and it's useless. But we were unable to figure out so far what causes that. Although so that's a bug that we should probably put a bounty on to get that fixed.
There was one thing I'd be interested. I don't know if you have access or if you have a
One more time, please.
link for it or anything. Greg mentioned in one of the previous calls about a tuple set example code in a previous presentation. So he mentioned a sample code.
Sorry, your connection seems to be a bit fuzzy. Well, anyways, I guess, yeah. I do, yeah. Yeah, so that's the link. Yeah, no problem. Jim, I guess I was originally here to, show off what I did with the compiler in the past week, but should I just go ahead and start that?
Yeah, I guess we just wanted to know, a whole overview, starting from ground zero of the environment, how to make it and run it.
Cool. Sounds good. So let me share my screen here. Did you see that?
Yep.
Okay. I'm assuming I don't have to go over cloning the repo.
Okay, so you clone the repo, you get all these files. We can.
And then you execute the Scala console. This can be done.
I'm using Eclipse, so.
Sure. I mean, we can use the terminal if that's easier.
But this is what this is in.
Oops, not SBT console.
Okay, we're looking at what here? IntelliJ? No. Yeah.
No, we're just looking at a terminal screen. If it's confusing, I can close this, stop sharing, and actually open up a terminal window.
I was wondering what you were in that the terminal window was in. That's all.
Oh yeah, I see. I was on IntelliJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are we going to run into problems? You think if we use Eclipse, or do we all have to use? We all should use IntelliJ. And is the free version of that all we need, or?
I'm using a student edition. I think, as I said, you just need a terminal. So, it shouldn't. So I'm just gonna work off the terminal since I guess to be ID non-specific, but.
Yeah. Well, in order for us to do any work, we're going to need to use an IDE of some kind. No?
I mean,
okay,
I don't know. Greg works off of Vim, or sorry, Emacs. So. So yeah. I mean, are we good with the ID discussion?
Yeah, I guess for now,
Cool.
I guess we'll figure out how to do this some people will be using IntelliJ, and I guess some people will be using Eclipse or something else.
Yeah, so as long as you can execute the Scala console, the SBT console, then you should be fine.
Okay, so what did you type in the SBT console?
I haven't typed anything yet. I've just literally launched it, if that makes sense. And so now we're actually in the console. Can you see my highlights too?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you can type in commands like help. I think you can do build or no compile. Whoops. Actually, oh no, never mind. This is not. No. This is the Scala console. Okay. So here we can actually just check stuff like classes, I believe. Nope. Is that also SBT? Maybe. Yeah. But okay. Let me just do the import statements that are needed. Let's see. So we have import Rolang dot. Does that work? Nope. Sorry, IntelliJ is freezing on me. It's really too bad. Do I not have? Oh, there. Okay, finally. So we're gonna do, this is an import statement. And this is just essentially the top level import for the compiler. So then once we've imported the compiler, we can execute the compiler on, or call the main class, the main method of the compiler, and then pass in the name of the Rolang contract. And if we just execute that, let's see. Let's try, that's weird. I didn't expect that, but maybe I did some changes on the compiler since last time. I'll have to check Git on that, but anyways, so here's the output of the compiler. So we have the def operand, and then of course the actor. The body of this contract is basically a nothing, or a niv. And so that's mostly it for just getting it to run. You can, if you quit out, go to examples, you can just, write out any Rolang contract here and then execute it in the same way, just by changing the name here. I'm not sure what's going on with the hello world. Oh, I see, that's why. I had all my comments in there too. Let me just copy over the hello world. Hello world copy. And then here we can just rerun. Any questions so far?
Not exactly. It looks pretty straightforward, but I'm not terribly clear on the whole thing of running. Running the scala and the console, SP.
Oops.
Okay, well,
directories. You're not
familiar
clear on.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Sorry, let me go back to Rolang. The console is just a way to load the project files in, or what it does, it loads the project files in and then creates an environment in which you can import, classes and then execute methods in them. But let me just go ahead and try the hello world again. Okay, looks good. So are you interested in going through this body definition, or?
Yeah.
Or the whole, what's that, syntax?
I guess, we saw this in the video, and this doesn't quite run because of the missing produce.
Yeah, exactly.
what exactly is the produce method?
The produce method just essentially stores. It's essentially a store operation.
And can we do a can't we define a stub for that so this will run?
Can we one more time, please?
Can we define a stub for the produce method so we can actually run this?
Yeah, sure. Def opper and produce. That would do it. Except, well, I guess the quickest way to find out is to actually, like, I mean, this already, actually, we don't even need this. This contract already compiles in Rosette. If you can copy and paste it, and it'll just say, hello world contract has been defined, period. Like, nothing will happen until you actually execute it. And I think Stephen has mentioned in the chat if there's a syntax to send a message to that contract. And the answer is, I don't know of anything that's defined so far, but there's a pretty clear idea that it'll essentially be, another form of Xbang, send message of some sort to that contract. In fact, it will probably be something like I would imagine it's almost parallel to the produce method, in the sense that you're storing something to I guess you're sending data to that contract, which is stored at a certain location, and so you're just storing data into that location, and that would be the same thing. And so yeah, there's no defined or agreed upon syntax yet, but I guess I would imagine at least Greg has an idea of how it would happen. Does that answer the question, Stephen? Oh, Stephen not on? Nope. I guess he dropped. Oh well. Okay. Jim, do you have anything else? Or I mean, do you have any questions?
Not really. I guess it's still kind of Greek to me. I mean, the map. The method hello world with two arguments makes sense, and then map world one, I guess, to the rest of this thing. Creates a map, or
well, the way to look at this is that we're taking or we're defining the method hello world that takes two arguments, world 1 and world 2, and it maps over world 1. And so because world 1 is probably going to be a queue, the proc receives a message that is taken from that queue. So mapping over a queue is basically just a way to extract a message from the queue. And so once we get that message, we now store in the namespace or tuple space we store the message on the channel world 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a producer-consumer model, I guess, for the queue.
Well,
No?
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the most intuitive way to think about it. It's just, you're just taking a message and sending it out on a different queue. You're taking a message from one queue and then sending it out on a different one. And just so that it's not confusing, this 24 at the end is part of the variable. So, actually, I think it'll be more clear if we look at the Rolang contract itself. Oops, no, I should just cat it. So if we look at the contract itself, it's really clear. You have a method, world1 and world2 as arguments. And then, welcome back, Steven. I'm not sure if you heard my answer to your question in the chat, but essentially there's no currently defined syntax for sending a transaction to the contract. I mean, you can do it in Rosette, of course, but it probably will end up looking like a form of xbang something, essentially storing some value into where the contract resides inside the namespace. But I mean, that's kind of the current state. Anyways, back to this contract. So we have the hello world name. That's a contract name. Again, arguments world1 and world2. And we're waiting for a message on the channel world1. And then once we receive it, we send it out on the channel world2. And that's exactly what's happening, up here, where again, we have a method, hello world, 2 arguments. It's waiting for a message on world1. And once it does get it, it sends the message out on the channel world2.
Now the capital Q.
Oh, this is just a quote. You can kind of ignore that. It's just a way to add a quotation on Rosette, so it looks like that. And this is allowed because, or not allowed, but you know how Rosette is reflective? This is kind of one of the ideas. You can do quote message instead of Q message. And if you actually look into the Rosette, I guess the bootstrapping files in Rosette, you'll be able to see how this queue is defined, so to speak.
Well, we can. Oh, yeah, we're not running Rosette.
Yeah.
We can dump it, right?
Yeah, we can. Do you want? Would you find that informative?
I wouldn't mind running the Rosette we have.
Sure. Let's do make. Let's copy and paste. Seems like this one didn't go through. Yeah, this is where you get the no compile time binding for produce. But anyways, it has compiled. So that's all you get. If you want to actually see the output of Q message, I think we can just do that. There. Quoted message. Oh, that's interesting. Seems like this message, I wasn't expecting the double quotes, but I guess that is what it is.
Well, if you just put message, what do you get?
Well, message is not defined,
Okay.
or there's no binding for it, so it'll just kind of give an error.
We have to
Yeah.
quote it. Oh, right.
Yeah, so when you quote it, it just returns a quoted. I was expecting the same output here, but I think because there's no, I think there needs to be, there's no binding. So, I mean, here the binding is from, you know, the entry or the argument passed into the proc is the message. So it works out well. But
And what do the brackets around the message mean again?
this one or the proc? This is, I mean, there's no need. Well, the reason why it needs the brackets is because it needs to differentiate what are the arguments and what's the body of the proc. So this is the arguments, and then this is the entire body.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
And the reason that you quoted there, I'm not sure of.
Why the message is quoted?
When you dump message, it shows the brackets around it with a double quote in front.
Oh, this one.
Right.
I mean, there's probably a good explanation as to why Rosette decides to double quote it and then put it in brackets before printing it out. I'm not actually completely sure why it does this. I have a feeling it's related to the fact that, you know, message isn't defined in the global scope. But I mean,
Right.
it's
another argument, I mean, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too concerned with this unless I guess you're really interested in the internals of Rosette.
That's okay. I mean, I still have to read the Rosette manual.
I see.
I do want to learn some Rosette. I'm hoping that we, run Rosette nodes, and the community. Of course, it's not much of a community right now.
I think, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to run the whole row VM, sometime soon. I guess we still have to get through the compiler and the re-implementation and whatnot. So, anyways, I think, are you interested in, I mean, how long do we have? I guess we still have time. Are you interested in the implementation side of the Rolang compiler?
Yeah, if you could just give us a introduction there, that would be great.
Okay. So let me just show you through IntelliJ, just because it's easier to see the files, I guess. Or that's my opinion. But let's see. So you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So if you clone the repo, you should be able to see the exact same project structure here. So most of I guess the BNFC, this is the language definition, is in this folder. I guess everything's everything related to sources, I guess, is in the source file. And if you go down to main BNFC, you'll be able to see the language definition. And I mean, if you've never seen a BNF defined language, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you just have your values on the left, and the names. There must be a better way to explain this. I guess the idea is that using this spec, essentially, the I guess Java Cup, I believe that's the name of the library. I had it somewhere. Yeah, Java Cup, and the Java Lexer is able to build both the tokenizer Lexer and parser for this whole spec. And I mean, here we can see how a contract is defined as a string contract, a name, and then a C pattern. And then the C pattern is, defined down here. Where is it? C pattern. Here it is. A C pattern is right here. It's defined as a var pattern, and a var pattern is defined as var pattern. It's defined as a var or the underscore, and then it just keeps going. So it eventually, I guess, branches out to cover the whole document, or I mean, the whole spec, unless I guess there's an unused, I guess, variable type, which I don't think there is. Anyways, if you have any questions about the spec, you can ask me. I think this is going to be going through not a rewrite, but it's going to be changed quite a bit when Greg comes back next week. So that's the spec. The libraries I mentioned before, Java Cup and JLex, they generate, based on the spec, this entire folder. And what the folder contains is kind of the Java classes that are needed to build the abstract syntax tree for Rolang. And I mean, that's essentially just what the parser turns the Rolang code into. And I mean, you can read up more about that in general programming language or compiler construction. It's the whole general idea of how compilers are usually built, from, lexers, parsers into abstract syntax trees, and then from, abstract syntax tree into one language to an abstract syntax tree in another, and then, to the actual output in the other language. But anyways, without diving too much into that, so there are various visitors that are used to walk through the abstract syntax tree of Rolang, and the one that Greg was using was the fold visitor. And so if we go down to into the Scala package, which and go down into Rolang.scala. Essentially, we have a class that extends the fold visitor. And this is where essentially the meat of the compiler is. And so the general idea is that let's look at a top level thing. The contract is down here. So when we first go in, we hit this contract, it visits the D contract. That's kind of, and then essentially here what's happening is it's turning the, contract name, formals, body, syntax into the rosette equivalent. And it does this by first dispatching on the proc. Essentially, that's the body. The body gets transformed into, the body here. And this is all sort of, handled by other methods. And then once that returns, that gets essentially appended at the bottom in the method term. And then the method term is appended in the actor term, and then the actor term is pushed up. So essentially, the method term here is this whole part. And then, so I guess the P term here is the body, and then the method term is the whole thing, which includes the body, the P term. And then the actor term includes the method term, and then appends, the name of the contract and def actor, which is exactly what's happening here. The name of the contract and def actor. And then all of that combined is the actor term here. And then that gets returned. And then there's another method in rosette serialization that essentially takes the rosettes, or I guess the almost rosettes, abstract syntax tree, and just renders it out, or I guess serializes it out, just as, I guess it recursively walks down and then serializes each component. It's, I guess, a way to explain it. But that is the general overview.
Awesome.
Cool. Any questions?
Yeah, but not for this audience. I have to learn Scala too.
Got it. Well,
thanks for that, Kent.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, that was awesome. Absolutely.
I mean, I guess that's it for my side.
Thank you, Kent.
So,
I'm gonna have to drop off, but thanks a million for that. That was very useful.
Couldn't exactly catch what you said, Stephen, there, but I think you said something along the lines of thanks, so you're welcome.
Great, we'll talk to you again.
Yep. I guess we can end here then.
yeah, we're basically done. I wanted to follow along in Eclipse. And unfortunately, since the last time I ran Eclipse, it looks like my Git perspective is all screwed up or something here. It gets an error loading. I have to figure this out now and fix my Eclipse before I can move forward on this. Yeah, maybe I'm just trying to what I could do.
I'm not sure what's going on here. For exception, that looks like it wasn't able to load the UI.
Yeah. Of course, I'm not going to be able to do anything now. I'm wondering if I could just reset the perspective or something. Reset perspective. Yes. I don't know if that means I lose everything. Let me close it. And then open it. Okay, it came back. Maybe I just had to close and reopen it. So I have to.
This is
This is not. This is not the. This is the Package Explorer. It's not the perspective.
You're looking at Rosette right now?
This is just my workspace.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I thought I just opened the perspective. Open perspective, others. Get. Okay. Doesn't open it. I don't get it. Oh well. I'll take that off.
Okay. I mean, you think you're good with cloning Rolang, the repo, and everything?
Yeah, that should be fine. I don't know what issues I'm going to run into when I get this working again. I mean, I could go in manually, and I can get it manually, and then open it here. Maybe that's the thing to do at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to hang around for that.
Okay. Well, I'll get working on the compiler then. So, I mean, Slack me if you got any questions.
All right, we'll do.
Okay. See ya.
Thanks again, Ted. Bye now. So I'm going to find Git. Where am I here? Git. Change directory to Git. Okay, and see what I have here. And I have CPP to Scala. No. Oh, that's not what we want. I'm recording my What? RChain. So I get it. So I presume I want to.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm recording.
Oh.
Presume I want to go to Rolang, and then I'm going to clone or download. And I'm going to copy the clipboard. And then I want to do a git. Uh, um, I do a git clone. And I paste in, oops, what was that? I didn't copy it. Paste. Okay, I hit copy over here. It says copied. And then I do paste. Worked that time. Okay, it's receiving the objects, and it's done. So now I'm going to go back to Eclipse, and I'm going to add a new project. New Scala project. And I think I need to import. File. Import. Import from the file system. Projects from Git. Git's not working. I can't use that. So let's try file system. Existing projects into workspace. Next, I'm going to browse, and I'm going to go into Git here, choose Rolang, and I'm going to hit OK. And there's no projects listed. Refresh. No projects are listed here. Rolang. We have pass 1, pass 2. I want to import the whole thing. And I'm not able to import it. Let's try to see what happens if I do git. Hit OK. Rosette, it sees as a project. Doesn't see Rolang as a project. So let's go back to Rolang. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back and to a new Scala project. And I'm going to call it Rolang. And I'm going to try see if I can load it right from there. Okay. And I'm going to type finish. Auto share Git projects has encountered a problem. Internal error occurred during auto share Git projects. Definitely have a problem here. I don't know if I have to reload everything, but I do have the Rolang project loaded. I have 1 errors. Unable to find a Scala library. Please add the Scala container or Scala library jar to the build path. Let's look at the properties. Builders, Scala builder is in here. Well, that's that. As far as we're going today. Back to the drawing board. Bye, folks.